This is the beginning of a new series that I'm going to do called What Do I Need to Hear Today? And the reason why I'm doing this series is because right now I'm going through a lot of life changes and I suffer from anxiety. And it's very difficult to make decisions and carry on with your plans when you're just petrified of every outcome. For example, okay, I'm getting divorced and I'm moving out of the country. So I'm terrified of actually doing it, but I'm also terrified if I don't do it. And no amount of reading other people's writing or talking to even therapists is going to solve this problem, because nobody knows me more than me. And so I don't know if this would be help to anyone else, but whatever, it's going to be help to me because I have decided to make it so. So yeah, I'm going through the divorce and I want to leave and move to my favorite country in the world. I'm not going to be completely alone. I have a support system there and they are very, very supportive, but not financially supported. And finance is the main source of my stress, and it always has been in my entire life. I've always had financial stress, even when things weren't, their finances weren't short. It's just that my biggest fear in life is poverty, and I haven't spent much time in poverty, so it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's what it is. It is what it is. So I have a okay job here. I just crossed over into the six figures, even though I'm still underpaid. And with the cost of everything rising, the fact that I'm getting a divorce means that instead of sharing the finances of the household, I will be on my own, and I will need to have a whole nother household and a whole set of bills and just be out here fending for myself. Which isn't in itself a bad thing, except for I live in one of the most expensive cities in the country, and I don't want to live anywhere else in the US, especially places that cost less. If I had to move, I would move to some place that ended up costing even more. So the country that I'm moving to, Trinidad and Tobago, it is not a cheap country, but it is less expensive than the US. And so here's what I need to know. I need to know that it might sound absolutely batshit crazy to leave a decent job when the economy is tanking and people are out here searching and not able to get jobs. But when I really look at my situation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the US economy is. I'm still not going to be happy in it. I'm still going to have high cost of living, and I'm still going to be in a place that I don't want to be in. And leaving the job that I don't hate my job, I actually like it, but I don't like having to work for someone else. I don't like the things that surround the job. That the actual work itself is fine, but I don't like that we're mandated to come into the office 4 days a week. I don't like that we're mandated to come in at a certain time and leave at a certain time. I don't like rules like that. And I don't like that I have to get up in the morning and actually put on something that isn't, junky to go into an office. So I've all my life wanted to be an entrepreneur, solopreneur, where I don't have to work for anyone else. And at 55, age 55, when was that going to happen? Am I going to wait till I'm 65, 75? It makes sense to do it now while I still have the energy and I still am healthy and I still have everything that I would need to do it. So my fear is now that I had some ideas set up to create myself a safety net, a good safety net. Well, they seem to be falling apart. I don't want to go into all the gory details of it, but my job owed me some back pay, and they aren't living up to it. And then as a backup plan, I thought, okay, maybe I can withdraw some retirement savings. Well, retirement is a whole scam, okay? They capture your money, hold it for you, and basically try to keep you from getting it until you're an age where a lot of people in this country don't even live that long. On average, people only live about 10 to 12 years after actual retirement. So that's some bullshit right there. I'm not doing it. I need to leave now and live a decent life. The other thing is that not only is the cost of living as far as like housing lower where I'm going, but also, well, food is high. So that's a worry because I love to eat. But that's also a controllable expense. You can not, be all willy-nilly at the grocery store and make it work. But the other thing is that I always wanted to live on the coast, back at the beach. I grew up for 5 years in Florida, about 6 blocks from the beach, and I never got tired of it, and I just love it. And then, then when I moved to DC, we would go every summer to the Outer Banks and spend a king's ransom for a week to stay by the ocean. And now I'm going to an island that's surrounded by beach and is accessible any day. It's not like I have to wait until the summer. I don't even have to wait till the weekend. People go by the beach and Lime, which means hang out, after work or just anytime. And they have a lot of holidays. They just do these things, and it's the lifestyle that I want. So if I stayed here, I wouldn't have the lifestyle that I want, and I really wouldn't have access. I wouldn't be able to even do the summer trip to the beach because it costs a fortune, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. And then the only places I would be able to do it is places I don't necessarily want to be. Definitely not in the States. And then, other places, maybe I could afford it, maybe not. I don't know. But what I need to hear today is that this is the right decision, and that even if things don't go exactly as planned, I am not going to be down in the gutter, unable to eat. It just means that I will have to tighten up my belt and make a different change. My idea, so I talked about my safety net, but my actual source of income when I leave a job is that, I write. So I wanted to create a combination of my own writing, my own content, and possibly freelancing for other people. The good news of that is that I don't need a fraction of what I only need a fraction of what I make here to live a pretty good life there. So while it might seem crazy if I said, okay, I'm quitting my job to freelance here now, it's not that crazy when I look at the cost of living there. So I think that I can live well on approximately, at the minimum, like $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month where I live right now, I would be on the streets because I wouldn't even be able to afford a basic rent. So that is, I don't have to make a lot, so it's not the same risk. Of course I can make $1,200 a month. Even freelancing, it's not that serious, but the fear. So what I need to hear is that I can make $1,200 a month with my eyes closed, for real. It is not difficult. I might have to find the right balance of this and that, not to mention that not working a full-time job that I have to go into somebody's office for gives me plenty of time to do this. So I need to know that making $1,200 a month when I get there is not going to be difficult. And so therefore, my focus would be making $1,200 a month and then making even more so that I can live really well there. And that is a reality. But despite how crazy it sounds, this whole plan sounds batshit crazy, but it absolutely is not batshit crazy. I have to think about things from my own perspective and do not consider anyone else's, because nobody else knows my exact situation. Nobody else knows the price of unhappiness, of the lifestyle that I would be living if I stayed here. It wouldn't be miserable, but all the things that I like to do, I just wouldn't be able to do. And the thing is, I don't see any way to get ahead. That's the scam of the American dream. I don't see any break. Everybody's always constantly looking for the next break, the one thing that's going to give them that break so that they can be living well, and it never comes. People have been wishing and hoping for that for decades and decades, and it just does not come. So I'm being realistic about this. It ain't coming. And it ain't coming no time in my lifetime because of the regime that's in right now. are preventing it at every turn with their stupid tariffs and, you know, all the other stuff that's just running up the cost of everything. And, you know, trying to take away people's health care and, you know, all of the things that are just going to make life more expensive does not make sense. I'm not going to get some humongous raise. Winning the lottery is not a viable solution. And I'm too old for the hustle. I'm not trying to work 2 part-time jobs. If I'm gonna do that, then I could do that abroad, because most of the work that I am capable of doing is work that can be done remotely. So I could live the life that I love, working remotely, not 8 hours a day, not in somebody's office, and then in the afternoon, put on my swimsuit and enjoy an evening at the beach. And that is what I needed to know today, that I am making the right decision. I know that I will need to repeat this again and again and again because the fear is real, but I need to know that this is completely possible. My plan of action right now is to get started on those income earning ventures right now. It's a little bit difficult. I haven't made any progress, as a matter of fact. But the reason why is because I'm working full time and I'm worrying. That will be much different when I have freed up some time and I can actually just do the work without the panic. So, reality. I need to start putting things in place right now. I am going to be gone for a month that could easily be perceived or used as a trial period. How much can I get done in that month of not going into the office and not being panicked, and being able to relax and release at the end of the day or the beginning of the day or the end of the week, whenever, and see how that really works, because I can pause this plan. That's the other thing I need to know, that it's not done yet. I can pause after that 30 days and say, okay, let me work a little bit longer and figure this out, make a little bit of a better plan. But it's not as risky as it seems, and I'm doing this no matter what, because it's my happiness. And at age 55, when would I start looking for my happiness? When? 65, 75? That's ridiculous. I'm doing it right now. And you know what? For all of y'all out there who might be in the same position, if there's anybody who's in a same or similar position to me, you need to start prioritizing your happiness too. That's all for today.